Good evening from Cyprus. Kalispera from Cyprus. Hi guys. Today I'm not going to, throw any dice whatsoever. I'm just going to do something like a TED talk on something that's been on my mind. I just want to share it with you. I don't know whether you have the time. Don't know how long it's going to take. So basically, I have watched quite a few videos on craps, from dice setting, position, grips, dice sets, trajectories, table bounciness, dice sizes, weights, all these things. Strategy, from the simplest pass line bet with odds to the most complex one with hedging by laying odds and hopping with, just trying to hedge a number. Craps table etiquette, superstition, discipline, tilt, both positive and negative. Innovation, disruption of the game with bone tracker and setting dice and other such things like software available out there. And even if I follow all of the above, even if I become the best that I can be, there are still, I think in my opinion, two things that are missing. These two ingredients that are missing are, the first one is alignment, and the second one is teamwork. What do I mean by alignment? In our case, it's the convergence of craftsmanship, in this case precision shooting, and the strategy being used. If we were to carry out something called SWOT analysis, you would certainly notice where your strengths lie in your shooting, where your weaknesses lie in terms of limitations, like in your SOR or your number hitting ability or your persistence to hit specific numbers could be viewed as a weakness. The opportunities that you have to become a better bettor, or let's say avoiding or hitting specific numbers, and the threats you're faced with, depending on whether you're playing the don't or the do. So once you know where you stand with your SWOT analysis, you can proceed to align your strategy, and that strategy should be made just for you, just for your shooting. So that's what I would call aligning. There is no point trying to align a don't strategy to a shooter that has an SOR of, let's say, 10 plus. It's just no use, because he's going to just destroy the objective of being a good shooter, or he's going to destroy the objective of a don't strategy, because that objective is to get the 7. Likewise, there's no point placing numbers if you're hitting outsides, yos and craps and 7s. If your SOR, let's say, is the 6, around 6, which is the random shooter. So basically, you need to get these things aligned. And in watching a lot of videos, sometimes live videos, people just try and play live, and they stream, and they deviate completely from what they would have been doing if they were paying attention to, okay, how well can I throw? Am I a good shooter? Should I be on the don'ts? Things like that. So that's the first ingredient, and I think that it's very important. The second ingredient is teamwork. And what do I mean by that? It is not enough to align your strategy alone. Because when you step to a table, you are the one person out of potentially 10 other people shooting. So the odds are not in your favor. So you need to actually make it at least to 5 out of 10 or 50% of the shooters. So teamwork is a second ingredient to successful sessions. Anyway, as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by my daughter, who wants to ask me what I want to have for dinner. Moving on, I just said teamwork is the second ingredient to successful sessions. Avoid going to a table without 2 or 3 other shooters you know and you trust. I think that would be my advice. By knowing them, I mean you know their shooting ability and their specific aligned strategy. That is why you can emulate basically their strategy to continue winning before the dice are back in your hands. You should be able to skip a few shooters and have the discipline to say, well, it doesn't matter if it's a long roll, it doesn't matter that I'm missing out. I am protecting my bankroll. In terms of your teammates, you become their wingman and they become yours. You take the advisor role on, you take it on for them so they can concentrate on precision shooting for the common goal. In the case where you do walk in alone, you first of all observe all other shooters, and by judging them you form your team. You don't need to actually step out and say, hey, do you want to be part of my team? But you actually, in your head, you form your team. And you form a team which is equal to 50%, let's say, of the shooters there. Now, they don't all need to be precision shooters. In fact, you will see quite a few people being scared, and that's where you have enough arsenal of strategies available to you to change from, let's say, the do to the don't, and so on and so on. So then after that, when you actually pick your team, then you place money on the table, and it's very important. I would say keep your discipline on what strategy to use for each one of them, and always be aware of your stop loss. Keep it in check, and make a mental note of their SOR, or if you can't, just take the theoretical SOR of 6 as your stopping position, where you stop placing bets and you take everything down. Somebody might ask, why did I feel the need to say all these things? The reason is very simple, because I watch so many videos, I watch so many comments from so many people needing help with either dice sets, strategy to use when they next visit the casino, bankroll considerations, and even grips, dice grips, and so on and so forth. In my very, very, very poor opinion, any one of these components will not help a shooter or a bettor profit in the long term. It is the alignment of every one of these components together, which are unique to each one of us, that will yield the results consistently, and the realization that many of us can do more at the same table as opposed to each one of us at a different table at different times. Anyway, thanks for listening to me blabbering on. I hope I didn't send you to sleep. This is George from Cyprus. Kalinichta. Good night.